So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are continuing with our offseason rebuild series, and it's going to be the Toronto Raptors. 25-57 was the final regular season record for the Toronto Raptors. Overall wise, it was not a very good one. It was certainly a very bumpy up and down season for Toronto as a whole. The biggest two moves coming near and before the trade deadline being with the moves of Pascal Siakam to the Indiana Pacers and OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks. So really kind of embracing a youth movement here in Toronto. They are moving in a new direction, and a direction that Scotty Barnes is going to be leading. I'm very excited for this rebuild today for a couple reasons. This is going to be kind of a combined offseason / prospect rebuild for Toronto. We'll talk about that more in just a second. But before we do, of course, as always, if you guys are new around here, if not yet subscribed to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Hit that sub button, join the community. Of course, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I'd like to apologize to Raptors fans that it took this long to do an offseason rebuild with your team. Typically, I do teams once they've been eliminated, and obviously Toronto was a regular season elimination, and we just never got to it before playoff teams started getting eliminated. So after this, there's two to go. It's the Celtics and it's the Mavericks. So very excited for those, but it's going to be some time. So this is our final offseason rebuild, what will likely be for a couple weeks. So let me know anything else you want to see down below. Let's get into this one. There are certainly some positives and some negatives when talking about this Toronto Raptors team right now. I guess we'll just go ahead and start. Starting off with the positives, they are a good kind of young core that I don't really think is being talked about enough. They are flexible. There's really no bad contracts on this team like you do see with many rebuilding teams. So that's the good news. It's pretty much the only good news. I guess maybe having the face of your franchise in Scotty Barnes is another positive. The negative is that this team won 25 games, as we just talked about in the intro. And many of you are probably saying, well, hey, at least they'll have a high draft pick. And the answer to that question is no, they do not. It's actually owned by the San Antonio Spurs, dating back to the Jakob Poeltl trade. So that's a tough position to be in. We do have the 19th overall pick from the Pascal Siakam trade, but it certainly would have been nice to have number 8 overall and maybe drafting another guy that can be maybe a face of the franchise moving forward. So I guess let's just go ahead and talk about this roster. It is interesting, of course, as I mentioned. There is a really kind of underrated, in my opinion, young core, kind of set in stone here, and these are guys that we could be building around. So let's just get into it. Manuel Quickley was part of the deal with the New York Knicks. For OG Anunoby, he's going to be entering free agency this offseason, and of course, we do have to go ahead and pay him at only 25 years old and an 83 overall. Will he start this entire time? I'm honestly not sure, but we're going to pay the man some money. Bruce Brown came over in a deal with the Indiana Pacers. It was the Pascal Siakam trade. Bruce Brown won it all last year with Denver being a very key piece of that championship-winning group, and then got a 2-year, I think $42 million contract from the Indiana Pacers, and then they just traded him at the deadline to the Toronto Raptors. So I have no idea what my plans with Bruce Brown are. Javon Freeman Liberty, I'm not going to sit here and insult you all and pretend I know a whole lot about him, but he is certainly here. That's what I'll say right there. Gary Trent Jr. might be the sneakiest, hey, I'm only 25 years old of all time. I feel like this guy's been in the league for a long time, and ultimately at only 25 years old, he's somebody that I definitely could entertain the idea of maybe keeping around here. Grady Dick was their first-round pick last year. He was number 13 overall. It was an all-right rookie year for him. He wasn't on either of the All-NBA or All-Rookie teams. He's somebody I'd like to develop as much as possible, as we are probably all very well aware. This team is not going to be competing for a championship next year, so I'd like to develop the young players as much as humanly possible. RJ Barrett was the other piece alongside Emmanuel Quickley in the deal for OG Anunoby. A deal that kind of, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but it wasn't a deadline deal. Pretty sure it was in January. So it just kind of snuck up on me one day. I saw the notification. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? But RJ Barrett is still only 24 years old, obviously has not lived up to all of the hype that many number 3 overall picks do have. He was obviously behind Zion Williamson and Ja Morant, both of which have been, very big successes when they've been on the court. So RJ Barrett certainly maybe could be number 1, number 2 option on this team moving forward. We'll find out. Power forward spot. I'm very excited about Scotty Barnes. I'm very excited about what he can be for this team. I have plans of being my number 1 option the entirety of today's video, and at only 22 years old, he has a very prime opportunity to do that. Jordan Nora, Achai Agbaje, and Jalen McDaniels are all here. None of these guys are probably anything more than rotation pieces, if we're being honest with each other. And then the center spot. This man right here, Jakob Poeltl, 28 years old. He is the reason we don't have the 8th overall pick, which is unfortunate, but overall-wise, he's a solid center, not a star or anything like that, but he is certainly a serviceable option for our big man. Kelly Olynyk is here, acquired from the Utah Jazz. He is 33 years old. I know he's from Canada, so maybe I guess playing in Toronto makes a little sense for him, but he is here. Chris Boucher and then Malik Williams. So that's the team. It's obviously not incredibly talented. There is a little bit of an underrated young core there, in my opinion, as I've mentioned, but this team certainly does need some work, right? We can't just let these guys develop and hope for a championship, because I can tell you that's sure as shit not happening. Darko I cannot do the name. Darko here was not a great first season, but the ratings are pretty decent, especially that potential. So we'll hang on to him. I think about that infamous rant he had after, I believe it was the Kings game? He had a rant after? I forget what it was, but somebody got fouled and he didn't agree with it. All right, let's head up to the draft. We do have the 19th overall selection. Would have been a whole lot better if we had number 8 overall as well, but I'll live with 19, and I will draft somebody there. I don't know if we're going to be getting a star or anything like that. I'll take a look at the summary. It was Reza Shea, Sarr, Shepard. As I mentioned, this isn't a prospect rebuild, so I'm not going to do the draft order the way I think it very well possibly could go. So our options here are interesting. Jared McCain out of Duke, Zach Edey, who is just always sitting here, and actually, for the once, center is not really a position I need, so he's kind of off the table right now. A bunch of other guys here. I think Jared McCain might be my guy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's, a no-miss prospect, but out of everybody remaining, I think I'd favor him the most. So Jared McCain, welcome to the team. Possible backup point guard role for him throughout the entirety of this video. We'll find out. He's 75 overall. Very nice to see. All right, Bruce Brown, $23 million team option. An option that will likely, if I had to guess, be picked up, and I say that only because I think he could be a trade piece at next year's deadline, maybe even this offseason. So he's certainly, not really a $23 million player when he's on a bad team, but maybe on a good team he would be. You kind of get what I'm saying? And then Achai Agbaji, who's also still 24 years old, was also acquired from Utah. We'll pick him up. So Quickly is entering restricted free agency. We have to pay him some money. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it is certainly something we have to do. Wants about $19-20 million annually. I'm just going to offer it to him. We're not going to really negotiate too much. And then Gary Trent Jr., I do not want to let just walk out the door. So I would like to re-sign Gary Trent Jr. It's certainly possible that he takes his talents elsewhere this offseason, but I'd like to bring him back, and we do just that with both our guys. So that's the team. Of course, I don't necessarily think it's the smartest thing in the world to just bring back a group that won only 25 games, so we will be making at least 1 or 2 trades. I don't know how big, but I'll see you guys whenever I have that move. We're going to talk to the Chicago Bulls about a potential Zach LaVine deal. This might not make a lot of sense right off the rip for kind of really obvious reasons, right? Zach LaVine is pushing 30 years old. We're a rebuilding team. Why would I do this? It's because it's a 3-year rebuild, and Zach LaVine, in all likelihood, will just be a placeholder for our shooting guard spot that is going to be more valuable than all the guys I will probably be giving up. So, Bruce Brown, Chris Boucher, Jalen McDaniels is my current offer. I know damn well they're not going to take it, so I'll still offer it because Zach LaVine very well could be a guy they look to just salary dump this offseason. So, I'm not saying the Toronto Raptors are going to be an actual team that's interested in him, but I am saying that Zach LaVine is a whole lot less valuable than he was at one point in time. So my thought process on this is I don't really want to give up any of these other players. That's going to be our rotation moving forward. I would be willing to maybe part with this Indiana pick. They are always very, very good in these rebuilds, so it's not going to be nearly as valuable. And I think I'd be willing to do a 2028 first as well. They agree to that. So I know it's a bit of an overpay. Again, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I think it very much will down the line. I'm moving Grady Dick to the backup small forward spot, so he'll be the backup to Barrett. But here we go with Quickly. McCain's going to be LaVine, Gary Trent Jr., Barrett, and Dick. It's going to be Barnes, Agbaji, and then Jakob Poeltl. And the clinic, Mr. Kelly Olynyk. All right, we're not going to be good next year. We know that damn well. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. Offseason number 1 is officially complete. We are ready to go here in our first regular season. And on paper, this team isn't necessarily bad. The starting lineup is all 82-plus overalls. And I really do think this team kind of fits well as a group. So not saying we're going to be in the playoffs. I don't even think we're going to be in the play-in. But I do think this team could maybe show a little bit of fight. Maybe be around 35, 34 wins, something like that. It is Emmanuel Quickly, Zach LaVine, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl as our 1 through 5. Bench unit is relatively strong. Gary Trent Jr. going to be my 6th man here, playing 20 minutes a night. You got Grady Dick elevating into more of a kind of 7th man role, if you will. Kelly Olynyk as our backup center. You got Jared McCain, backup point guard, and Achai Agbaji as my backup 4. So all things considered, this is not a terrible starting point. We have all of our draft picks here moving forward, except for 2028. And I really do think that this team could be, somewhat competitive this season. So excited. Not really sure how it's going to go, but I will obviously update you guys at the end of year number 1. We were looking just to show a little fight, and we did exactly that. 39-43. All things considered, a very, very good starting point. Of course, it's going to suck a little bit not to have a very high-end lottery pick, but for team performance-wise, I will 1,000% take it. Nikola Jokic, 4th career MVP. Nikola Topic is your Rookie of the Year. Andre Drummond, now an Indiana Pacer, wins 6th Man of the Year. Wemby wins the DPOY literally every single time. Trace Jackson Davis, Most Improved. Trae Young, Clutch Player of the Year. Mark Daignault, 66 wins there. And Oklahoma Oklahoma City. They are going to be a pain in the ass for a long time. All right, here's a look at the East. We are in the play-in. I mean, it's insane. We're going to face the Miami Heat. Whoever wins, that's the 2 seed. And if we lose, we'll face the winner of this for the 8 seed. I mean, just, again, all things considered, a very, very good first season for us here in Toronto. And I'd like to see how it happened. Let's take a look at the numbers, see how everybody played. Zach LaVine actually looking like he was a really, really smart addition. 21.5 points, 3.5 boards, 3 assists a game. Guy was damn near 56% from the field. So, I mean, all it takes is just turning injuries off. RJ Barrett, Emmanuel quickly. Scotty Barnes, not necessarily the exact production I thought we were going to get in the points per game department, but he did a lot of everything, right? About 14 points, 7.5 boards, 5 assists per game, being about 50% from the field. The three-point shooting isn't great, but it is improving up to 36%. Jakob Poeltl, Gary Trent Jr., Grady Dick, Jared McCain, Olynyk, and then Ochai Agbaji. Rebounds per game was Jakob Poeltl, and Emmanuel quickly did lead us in assists at 5.5 per game. All right, so we are facing the Miami Heat, as I mentioned. Winner of this game is going to be the 7 seed, and if not, we'll take on the winner of 9 versus 10. So here's a look at Miami. Really no changes whatsoever. Let's sim through this game, and we lose. We lose, so now we are going to be facing the winner of this game, and that is going to be the Charlotte Hornets, and the winner of this game is going to end up as the 8 seed here in the Eastern Conference. So a couple moves for Charlotte. They've added Obi Toppin. They've taken on the contract of Jeremy Grant, which I don't necessarily love, but they did. And can we become the 8 seed here in year 1? We cannot. So we lose both play-in games. It's unfortunate, but again, it's fine. It's year 1 on a team that we were expecting to be a lot worse. It is going to be a Cavaliers and a Thunder finals, and the Thunder win in 5 in SGA. Your finals MVP. All right, we are heading into off-season number 2. Eric Gordon was on this team, and he's calling it a career. All right, pal. Staff retirements, Hall of Fame inductees, jersey retirements, and then the draft lottery. Of course, we will technically have a lottery pick. It is projected at number 12 right now. Maybe we get a little lucky in this lottery. I doubt it. Nope, we sit right there at number 12, which is fine. It's still a decent enough pick. I will take it. Darko's going to stay. We honestly overachieved this season for kind of what I was expecting, so Darko's staying around. Let's head up to the draft. A couple different things we can do here, obviously. And I'm not really sure what the move is right now. You know, we could definitely draft somebody at number 12, maybe have them as a middle to lower end tier bench player, but I also feel like there's a possibility we could maybe make an even bigger trade. So I'm not ruling out any possibilities. I'm going to look over some trade options, and if not, I'll see you guys in the draft. We are here in the draft. We are going to make a pick. It's not exactly the route in the avenue I wanted to take, but ultimately we have a lot of guys on team player options, which of course we cannot trade right now. And then there just wasn't really a move that I fell in love with, right? I'll be honest with you. I tried to make 2 moves. One was for Bam Adebayo. The other was for Kristaps Porzingis. Neither the Celtics nor the Heat were taking it. So we are drafting. Let's see what's going on so far. Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, a bunch of other really talented players have officially gone off the board. And now I don't really know who I'm going to take. I mean, I guess maybe Ian Jackson makes some sense just from a prospect rank and overall wise. But again, I just don't really know his role on this team. So we are going to take him. I don't know if he's going to stay on this team, but I am excited. He's a 75 overall. Team player options. Agbaji and Grady Dick both going to be coming back here. Scotty Barnes will be entering restricted free agency. Of course, really, no matter what, it's not like we have any money to play with. So I'm just going to pay Scotty about $36 million annually, and welcome back, Scotty. Very much needed. I hope he can take another step in terms of the scoring department. I know we have a lot of guys that can score the basketball, but I'd really like him to kind of take over as our first, if not our second option, where he was, what, our 4th last year. So that's certainly something I'd like to see. Of course, still only 23 years old, so there's a lot of room to grow. But now we're going to kind of revisit the trade market a little bit. There's a good and a bad side about us actually making a selection at number 12 overall. The good news is that after drafting Ian Jackson, the pick, or now Ian Jackson, turns into a 3-star value trade chip versus the 2-star that the number 12 overall pick was. So that is the good news. The bad news is I do think he could be an actual contributor on this team, but I'd like to make an upgrade at my center spot. And obviously, we're going to have to give something up if we want to get something in return. So that's my offer at this moment. I think I would also be fine with parting with Ochai Agbaji. There's nothing wrong with him. I still think there's a little something there in terms of potential. But for Bam Adebayo, I'd certainly be willing to pay a premium. So that's it. We don't have to give up a single draft pick, and we land Bam Adebayo. So now we need to find some backup big men. But other than that, we're kind of all set heading into what will hopefully be another kind of bridge year in second year. So let's just see. Who are my options here in free agency? Aaron Wiggins is chilling here. It's not terrible. The center options, Isaiah Jackson is here. We really only have money to get one guy. It's a little unfortunate. It's just kind of the reality of it right now. So Aaron Wiggins, just because Bam's an overall better player, well, him and Scotty, both their backups are going to be probably fine. So Wiggins coming to the team, and then our center options are not great. I think Xavier Tillman would be good. He's just a little undersized at only 6'7". So I'll go Kevon Looney, obviously an NBA champion, multiple-time NBA, four-time, right? Please accept the offer. Thank you. So it's not, man, maybe it's as good as Kelly Olynyk. Probably not, but he's still definitely going to be serviceable at 29 years old. We get some championship experience, obviously another veteran piece, and I'm very excited about this team. I'll see you guys with the rotation at the start of year 2. We are officially ready to kick off our second full season here in Toronto. Last year, we exceeded everything we thought was possible, right? I know that's kind of crazy to say when you didn't even make the playoffs, but we were a play-in team. We won 39 games, and I think we are only going to get even better heading into year 2. Backcourt remains the same of Emmanuel Quickley and Zach LaVine. Obviously, RJ Barrett still here as my starting small forward. Again, it's good to see that overall go up. Hopefully, some of the numbers get even better because he was overall pretty good for us last year. Scotty Barnes, of course, we'd like to see another jump in terms of his scoring and his three-point shooting. I think he has all the skills in the world, and hopefully it ends up coming true. And then we made the big move with the Miami Heat for Bam Adebayo. We ended up getting him without giving up a single draft pick, and I'm very, very excited about that and what he's going to bring to this team. Bench unit remains not nearly identical, but the main 3 guys are, it's Gary Trent Jr., Grady Dick, Aaron Wiggins is a new face, Jared McCain, our backup point guard, and then Kevon Looney, who we brought in to be Bam's backup. All right, this is the team. Again, I don't know if we're top-tier contenders, but I fully expect this team to maybe be a top 5 seed, so hopefully that comes true. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. 52-30 to wrap up year number 2 for us here in Toronto. It's an absolutely fantastic jump from where we were last season. We're hoping that we can maybe make a little bit of a playoff run. We'll find out. SGA is your MVP, coming off a finals MVP last season. A hell of a season for him. Cooper Flagg went number 1 overall to the Chicago Bulls, Rookie of the Year. Jalen Duren, now in Utah, is your 6th man of the year. Wemby, surprise, surprise. Rob Dillingham, most improved. Paolo Banchero, clutch player of the year. Mark Daignault, 65 wins over there after a 66-win campaign last season. They are nothing but consistent. All right, standings. We're the 2 seed. We go from play-in team to facing play-in team. Very, very nice jump for us, of course. Does not really mean too much if there's not a successful playoff run. So here goes nothing. Let's dive into some stats real quick, see how everybody played. It was Zach LaVine, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Bam. Wow. Again, just something feels a little weird with Scotty. Again, I don't know if there's too many guys that are able to score the basketball around him, because there's obviously a lot of guys here. I mean, 1 through 5 are all pretty good scorers of the ball, but I just expected Scotty to, kind of take over as the number 1, number 2 option. So hasn't happened. I mean, we're winning, so I don't really mind. It's very, very strange. Kind of what's similar to what happened with my Charlotte Hornets rebuild last week, or was that last week? Was that yesterday? I don't know if you guys saw that. Rebounds was Bam, and then assists was Emmanuel Quickley. All right, who are we facing? Round 1. It's going to be the New York Knicks. Very interesting. Who now have Cade Cunningham. They've lost Jalen Brunson, and they've lost Mitchell Robinson. They've lost OG Anunoby. I don't really know. We win in 6. Indiana Pacers here. Halliburton, Corey Kispert. Now they're starting shooting guard. Ben Mathurin, Siakam, an old friend. No more Miles Turner. Very interesting what happens when you just simulate through all this. We split the first 2 at home, win 3 on the road, win 4 on the road, and win 5 back at home. We are now in the Eastern Conference Finals, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. We've obviously seen some regression here with Damian Lillard. They have Pat Connaughton in their starting lineup, Middleton, Giannis, Robert Williams. Celtics fan, I'm sure many of you are aware of that, but if Robert Williams ever goes to one of my rival teams, I will not be very happy. I will not. Also, this spacing would not be great. I know Giannis' three-point shot has gotten better. It still would not be. All right, we drop game 1, drop game 2, do win 3, drop 4. Okay, a little bit of fight, and we get bounced. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm necessarily, tremendously disappointed about that, that exit. I think obviously with the Bucks having the clear-cut best player in the series, they might even have the best 2 players in the series, ignoring overall, obviously. It's an okay end. We just have to, again, get to that next and final destination of a championship team, and I think we're close. I do. Draft lottery time. We are not going to have a pick. I don't think so. We've traded for nothing. Rockets, Lakers, Wizards, Magic, and Spurs is your top 5 staff signing. I'm good with Darko. Again, the ratings are all right. They're nothing that special, but he's done a good job with this team. It feels like we've hit our ceiling, if not even broken through our ceiling in the first 2 seasons. So I'm very happy with the job he's done. He will be retaining his job. We now head up to the draft where we do have our first at 27 in both rounds 1 and round 2. It feels like an appropriate year to maybe move this for a different, a future selection, if you will. We'll do that here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It could be a trade asset. It may lead to nothing, but whoever we drafted there was certainly not going to help us a lot. So Zach LaVine picking up his $49 million player option. Surprise, surprise. And then Grady Dick and Jared McCain both going to be coming back on those team team options. So we now enter a free agency class where it doesn't really look like we have many big decisions. I mean, Bam Adebayo has a fake offer from Denver, but we're obviously just going to pay Bam and not worry about that. So Bam is back. Now comes the decision, do we have to make at least one more upgrade in the starting five? My kind of just gut reaction to that is yes. I don't really know exactly what that upgrade is going to be, but I think one would definitely not hurt us. This is going to be a very risky move. It is a very, very risky move that very well might not pay off for us, but we are bringing Kawhi Leonard back to Toronto. He was obviously here for one season and led this team to a championship. I know we are several years away from that. He is now 35 years old and only an 87 overall, and will likely be even lower by the time we start year number 3, but he's still Kawhi Leonard at the end of the day, and we don't have injuries on it, and he's a really, really good player, and I'd like to see him lead this team to another championship. So we're making a trade. We are giving up Zach LaVine. I know LaVine's been our number one option. He's been really good for us overall, but we're going another step. We are reaching a new level, and Kawhi Leonard is officially back. I'm excited to have that happen. I'm sure Raptors fans would be very okay with that. And now it's just figuring out where everybody's going to play, because I think my gut reaction is saying play Kawhi at the 3. I think that probably makes the most sense for us, at least right now. He goes up to an 89. Again, we're going to see regression no matter what. It's just the way things work. And then my also other big decision is, what do I do here? Because do I just move Barrett to the 2? Do I maybe find a different upgrade? I think there's a few different options. Wasn't necessarily planning on making a move this big, but Kawhi Leonard just kind of landed in our laps, and I'm certainly going to take advantage of that. Okay, a blockbuster trade with the New York Knicks is going to see us land Cade Cunningham. Not a deal I was necessarily expecting. We gave up RJ Barrett. We gave up Kevon Looney and then 4 first-round draft picks. And just like that, Cade Cunningham is officially a Toronto Raptor. So I know point guard wasn't necessarily the biggest position to need. And I know we're going to have an undersized shooting guard here with Quickly, but he actually goes up in overall. And Cade Cunningham is tall enough where it really won't matter at the backup guard, or excuse me, the backcourt position. I can't fucking speak. All right, so it's going to be Cunningham, McCain. We're going to have Quickly, Gary Trent Jr., Kawhi Leonard, Grady Dick, Barnes, and Wiggins. And then I do need to find myself a new backup center. Oh boy, options are not fantastic. Who else here in free agency? Yeah, I'm going to be a world-class scumbag, and I'm going to sign Bogdan Bogdanovic, and then trade him with some second-round draft picks and hoping to find myself some sort of backup center. Again, it's not my favorite thing to do, but we have kind of backed ourselves into a bit of a corner, and I have no other options. So, center, please, anybody. Luke Cornett, no. Oh, God. Is he really my only option? Fuck. Shit. Who else did I get offered? McConnell. Yeah, I don't really love any of these options, to be honest with you. All right, you know what? I'll just see you guys at the start of year number 3. Let's just pretend none of this ever happened and bring back Kevon Looney here from the New York Knicks. I don't know. I didn't want to make anything crazy. We're here at the start of year 3, and that's the deal it's going to be. I don't really know. We made some pretty big moves this past offseason that not all might have been necessary. We were looking for kind of one major kind of shake-it-up trade, and ultimately we landed on 2, which netted us Cade Cunningham and Kawhi Leonard. And after an Eastern Conference Finals appearance last season, we were only looking to go further. So here's how it's going to look. Cade Cunningham, Emmanuel Quickly, Kawhi Leonard. As expected, we see a little bit of regression, but he's still Kawhi fucking Leonard. Scotty Barnes, and then Bam Adebayo. Just an insane 1 through 5. Clearly the talent is there to win a championship, and I'm hoping that remains the case. Bench unit is still really solid. Grady Dick up to an 82 overall. Going to take over as my 6th man. Gary Trent Jr., my backup shooting guard. Jared McCain, backup point guard. Aaron Wiggins, and then Kevon Looney, who we, let go to New York for about 5 minutes. So this is the team. Clearly very talented. Everything just has to go right, and we have to get another championship. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. Year 3 officially wraps up. No surprise, it's our best season yet at 61-21. I believe that's a 9-game improvement from last season, and we're hoping we can make even another further step in the playoffs and win a championship. I'd like that. SGA wins another MVP. Elsing Harrington, Rookie of the Year in LA. Rob Dillingham, I believe, won 6th Man of the Year last year as well. Anybody surprised by Wemby? Hugo Gonzalez, Most Improved. Nikola Jokic, Clutch Player of the Year. And 70-12. Just when I thought, hey, maybe we had the best record. Maybe we were the team to beat. Nope, no, not a goddamn chance in hell. All right, here are the standings. We are the 1 seed here in the East. We had the 2nd best record in all of basketball. If it wasn't for the super team Thunder, we probably would have been 1st. here are the numbers. It was Cade Cunningham, Bam Adebayo, Emmanuel Quickley, Kawhi Leonard. We were kind of, aware that some of the scoring was going to fall off a little bit, but he's still Kawhi. Scotty Barnes, who just really never went further than 14 points a game. I mean, if he's nothing but consistent, it's a little strange. It is. I'm not going to lie. Gary Trent Jr., Grady Dick, Jared McCain, Wiggins, and then Looney. Rebounds per game was Bam, and assists was led by Cade Cunningham. So we are the 1 seed. It's good news. It is us and the New York Knicks, the team that I believe, won. I didn't even realize we traded RJ Barrett back to New York, but whoa, Franz Wagner coming off the bench. Yeah, they're good. They're just not as good. All right, the Bucks. This is the team that beat us last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are seeing a little bit more regression out of Damian Lillard, a little bit out of Chris Middleton, but this team is still really good. We're looking for some revenge right now. So quickly, we go up 2-0, make it 3-0, and that's a sweep. That is a sweep, my friends. Us and the Cavaliers here in the Eastern Conference Finals. We all know damn well how much this game loves Cleveland, and there's a good reason for that. There's a lot of talented players here, and their starting five is it's a good one. So here goes nothing against Cleveland. Drop game 1 at home. Do win game 2. Lose 3. Lose 4. Are you shitting me? Fight back. Have some balls. Take some pride in what you're putting out there right now. This is a winnable series against a really good team, but don't go out like this. Oh my God. I'll see you guys in there. It is very rare that I hop into anything that is not the finals, but there's something about this team that makes me want to say I need a championship. We are down 3-2 right now, so we very well could be doing all of this for nothing, but I am going to give it my all as we cut it to a 3-point game with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. So I got to lock it down. I got to focus the fuck up. I'm not playing on-ball defense. I wish Cade Cunningham would be on Donovan Mitchell. I don't love the matchup with Quickley. He is lost, and he missed. Oh my God, Deron Sharp, and now going to kick it out to Mitchell, who's obviously going to hit a 3. All right, well, the 5-point lead is now 6. Not the way we wanted it to go, and just bad all around. Kawhi, come give me a screen, please. Drive down, back over to Kawhi, going to get it foul. Okay, 3 fucking points. That's what I'm getting out of. Oh my God. Oh God. I might regret the Zach LaVine trade. I don't want to say that because ultimately it ended up eventually leading us to a Cade Cunningham trade as well. But Kawhi Leonard, 3, now 4 fucking points in Game 6 of the finals or Eastern Conference Finals when you're down 3-2. I need a little bit more. I do. I understand you're a veteran, but how about we play like we have some experience? Now up to 5 points on the night with under 2 minutes to go. All right, I need to focus. His assignment is Max Strus. It's not like he's been really, doing it all at the defensive end either. There are 4 better starters on this team than Max Strus, so we just got to focus. I need Scotty Barnes to have a battle right here. This is a battle of high lottery first-round picks from the 2021 draft, him versus Evan Mobley. All right, I want to push in transition. Scotty. Fuck. That's a bad shot. That's on me. I don't know why I did that. I felt confident, and I did that with a guy who... Shoot me in the fucking head, please. As somebody put me out of my misery. God damn it. All right, we got to just go for the home run ball here. We're calling for the ISO, and then I'm calling for a floppy. I have no idea who's going to be shooting it. I'm assuming it's probably going to be Quickley, and he can't even get off the screen. Now... He can't oh my God, how did that go in? Okay, we are back. We were quickly dead, and somehow that shot went in, and now I got to play some good on-ball defense against Donovan Mitchell, who is one of the best shooting guards in players in all of basketball. So here goes nothing. He's obviously going to try to waste some time right now. They're calling for the screen. He pulls a 3, and he misses. He misses. All right, we don't technically have to go for the 3 ball right now. I'm going to play this smart. We're going to drive to the rim. How did that not go? How did that not go? It might have been a dumb shot, but why? Why did that not go in? Oh my God. All right. There's still going to be some time for us. I'm surprised they're not trying to force a 2-for-1. They don't really need it as they're up 3. Kill me. Fucking kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Well, this that's pretty much a dagger, right? I mean, this one is pretty much over unless that goes in. Which it does. Oh, it's only a fucking 2. Oh, just fucking shoot me. This game's over. That's why I don't do gameplay. because I'm bad. I am bad, and I know some of you enjoy it. I do not. Thunder going to win it all. Did Cleveland blow a 3-1 lead? They might have. A disappointing ending to this video. You know, I think we got off to a really good start when we overachieved and made the play-in year one. Last year was a fun run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and maybe we just put a little bit too much in terms of expectations on this team heading into a championship or bust season. So I'm disappointed. If I could go back, I still probably make the Kawhi Leonard trade because I think he is still really, really good, even if 2K doesn't give him the credit for it. So it certainly wasn't a talent issue. This team is clearly talented enough to win it all. It's just something didn't go right, and we got beat by a really good Cleveland team, and I, of course, suck at 2K. So there's that. As I mentioned earlier in this video, there are 2 off-season rebuilds to go. It is the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. Both of those teams are starting game 1 of the finals. Well, it's a couple days away when, you know, I'm recording it. It's actually tomorrow when you're seeing this, but I have to wait until they're eliminated or one of them is crowned champion to do those off-season rebuilds. So we're going to wait. I need video ideas. Let me know anything you want to see down below. But that is it for me. Disappointing ending. I am sorry, Toronto fans. This team was still really good, and I had a fun time doing this one. So, as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.